A post-transition Iran will need diplomatic recognition and foreign capital. It'll also need partners that can solve specific economic problems. So who can help restart its factories? Who can reconnect it to major trade routes? And who can strengthen its food supply? Well, when you think about Iran's future partners, the three major superpowers come to mind: the United States, China, and Russia. And those relationships will be very important for post-transition Iran. However, several other countries could offer a more practical role in rebuilding Iran's economy. In this episode, we're going to take a look at three of them. Germany could help modernize Iran's industrial base. India could strengthen Iran's position as a regional transit hub. And Brazil could become a long-term partner in food and fertilizer trade. Each country addresses a different weakness in Iran's economy. Together, they offer a practical framework for reconstruction. Germany may be Iran's most natural industrial partner in the West. The relationship goes back decades. Before 1979, Germany was one of Iran's most important Western trading partners. Much of Iran's industrial base was built around German machinery and engineering. That includes major automotive factories, refineries, and a good proportion of Iran's rail network. But today, much of that equipment is aging. Decades of underinvestment have taken a toll. Sanctions have also forced Iranian companies to rely on less efficient substitutes and outdated systems. The result is lower productivity. Factories consume more energy than they should. Equipment breaks down more often. Therefore, Iranian products struggle to achieve normal quality standards. This is where Germany becomes important. German companies have deep experience in precision machinery and factory automation. They also have expertise in modern power grids, chemicals, and advanced manufacturing. Companies such as Siemens, BASF, and Bosch are obvious examples. But the opportunity would extend far beyond a few large corporations. Germany has an entire network of specialized industrial firms, large and small. Many of them produce the machine tools and components that modern factories depend on globally. Now, Iran also brings a major advantage to a future relationship with Germany. It sits on a geography with massive natural resources. In a normalized, sanction-free Iran, these resources could be used to raise capital quickly. With the financing in place, Germany would then be able to participate fully in Iran's rebuild. Now, you may be surprised to know that Iran graduates more than 230,000 engineers each year. That places it among the world's leading countries in science and engineering education. Many of its engineers, however, work with outdated equipment inside an isolated economy. In addition, Iran's current economy leaves many talented young engineers unable to find jobs in their fields. Some even turn to the gig economy to survive, including driving for Snap, which is Iran's version of Uber. In a post-transition economy, Germany can provide these talented Iranian engineers with industrial know-how. Now imagine those same engineers working inside modern factories alongside experienced German counterparts. Together, they could restart production lines and rebuild the country's manufacturing base. So this is the real economic equation for a future Iran-Germany partnership. Germany has industrial technology that Iran needs. Iran has engineers capable of putting that technology to work. With proper investment, Iran could rebuild its high-value manufacturing base. This, in turn, would reduce its dependence on raw commodity exports. Over time, Iran could become a highly competitive manufacturing center in the Middle East. Germany could supply the technical knowledge to help Iran completely rebuild its industrial sector. India faces a basic problem of geography. It's one of the world's major economies, and India has ambitions to increase trade across Eurasia. But its direct land routes are severely restricted. Pakistan blocks the most practical route to the west. The Himalayas and China limit access to the north. Looking at the map, you may wonder how India can possibly reach Central Asia. Well, Iran provides an excellent option through the port of Chabahar. Chabahar is Iran's only oceanic port located outside the Strait of Hormuz. It sits directly on the Gulf of Oman. This is India's primary route into Iran without passing through Pakistan. For India, Chabahar is the beginning of a wider commercial corridor. Indian goods could arrive by sea from Mumbai. From Chabahar, those goods could move north through Iran by road and railway. This route is connected to the broader International North-South Transport Corridor, or INSTC. Supporters of this corridor estimate that it could reduce shipping time by roughly 40%. They also project transportation costs around 30% below the traditional maritime route through the Suez Canal. After hearing those numbers, you might assume the route is ready to handle large-scale trade. But unfortunately, the infrastructure still has a long way to go. Iran's rail network would need major upgrades. Road connections would have to become much more reliable. Ports would need modern cargo handling systems and more efficient customs operations. So India has a strong reason to invest in those improvements. A functioning Iranian corridor would give India direct commercial access to Central Asia. It would also provide an alternative to trade routes dominated by China. For Iran, the advantage is equally clear. Iran could develop into a major transit hub and reduce its dependence on oil exports. Look at the map and the logic becomes clear. India needs a route around Pakistan. Central Asia needs better access to the sea. Iran sits between them. Investment from India could help modernize Iranian ports, railways, and logistics networks. In return, India would gain a non-Chinese route into Eurasia. Iran would strengthen its positioning as a transit link between South Asia and Central Asia. That strategic position could generate badly needed income for Iran's post-transition reconstruction. Now you may be wondering what Iran and Brazil could possibly offer each other. They're far apart and their economies develop very differently. Their needs, however, fit together unusually well. Brazil is one of the world's agricultural superpowers. It produces enormous quantities of soybeans and corn. It's also a leading producer of beef and other agricultural commodities. But Brazilian agriculture has a major vulnerability. The country imports roughly 85% of the fertilizer it uses. Once you hear that number, Brazil's problem becomes clear. Brazilian soil often requires large amounts of added nitrogen and potassium. Any disruption in fertilizer supplies could reduce agricultural output and expose Brazilians to sharp food price increases. Iran has something Brazil needs. How do you make nitrogen-based fertilizer? With natural gas. Iran holds more than 1.2 quadrillion cubic feet of proven natural gas reserves. That represents roughly 16% of the world's total and places Iran second only to Russia. But so far, Iran has struggled to convert that natural gas advantage into cash. Fertilizer exports offer an excellent and viable option. Iran could process more of its natural gas into urea and other chemical fertilizers. This would create high-value exports which could be sold directly to major agricultural markets. Brazil would be an obvious customer for a post-transition and normalized Iran. A long-term agreement could give Iran a stable buyer for its fertilizer and petrochemical production. Brazil could gain a more dependable source of agricultural inputs. In return, Iran could secure long-term access to Brazilian grain and other food commodities. The relationship would be commercial at its core, built around two complementary strengths. Iran has the gas needed to produce fertilizer. Brazil has the agricultural capacity to strengthen Iran's food supply. Both countries would gain greater predictability. Brazil would reduce some of the risks surrounding fertilizer imports. Iran would gain a major market for higher value natural gas products. Distance matters less when the economic fit is this clear. Iran needs reliable partners with complementary needs, even when those partners are far away. Brazil, with its immense economy, could become one of those partners. Rebuilding Iran's economy will require capital and partnerships designed around specific problems. Germany could help modernize Iran's factories. India could help Iran build a successful transit economy. Brazil could strengthen the link between Iranian energy and long-term food security. Each partnership serves a different purpose, but altogether they could support a faster road to recovery for Iran.